Welcome to Masters of Self University podcast, your highest source of sacred truths and universal wisdom. Hello, beautiful souls. I'm Rachel Fiori, mystic, spiritual teacher, psychic healer, and founder of Masters of Self University. Join our journey of soul transformation as we deep dive into this latest episode. Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to Masters of Self University podcast. I'm Rachel Fiori, your host for this episode. So, welcome and thank you for tuning in. I am the I am presence. We're going to dive into this. Many of you listening to this, you already know what the I am presence is. I want to talk about the trap versus the freedom of the I am presence. The trap versus the freedom and what that means. You're already familiar, most of you. I am the I am presence. That is the part of you that is the cosmic, eternal self. That's the I am presence. The divine, cosmic, universal aspect of who and what you actually are. Okay. Although you are a divine soul, a cosmic being having this human experience, you are also human. Your humanness is secondary. Your humanness is temporary. That's not the eternal you, right? So the I am presence is the eternal you. It is the cosmic you. It's the universal you. It is the extension of source you. Okay. And most of you listening to this, you already know that. That part isn't what I'm here to talk about. I just want to make sure, just in case there's anybody new to that and they happen to be listening to this, I want you to understand what it is before I continue. That's all. Okay. So when we dive in more deeply of what it means as you evolve, elevate, become a more highly conscious being, as you are on a journey to awaken authentically, actually for real. And that means taking steps towards becoming an enlightened being. When you are on that journey and you are becoming a healed, whole, enlightened being, that's the I am presence coming online. Okay. That means that the enlightened cosmic eternal you has fully integrated to the highest capacity that a human body can handle, can physically handle, your mental body, your emotional body, your physical body, right? Your spiritual body, all of that, that highest version of you has integrated fully to the highest capacity that it can in physical human form. And you are now guided and live your life. Your everyday rest of your life is being lived by the guidance, by the full integration of your I am presence. Okay? That's all enlightenment is. That's what enlightenment actually is. It has nothing to do with, what you wear and what you look like and how much you meditate, and if you meditate on a mountain for 30 years versus 2 years versus 3 weeks in a retreat, like none of that actually means anything other than there could be, certain pathways for you to become your full enlightened self. Right? Does that make sense to everybody? I hope that registers. Okay? Becoming the 20 universal ways of oneness, that is a becoming. You have to become those frequencies. Okay? And I'm going to get to, I really want you to understand this part, or you're not going to understand the trap, that how we shoot ourselves in the foot and sabotage ourselves in our, co-creating our reality and our manifestations and what we experience in our everyday lives, et cetera. There's a big trap, but you have to understand the I am presence a little bit more before you'll be able to comprehend fully the trap that I'm going to share with you, so that you can get out of the trap. You can stop actually entrapping yourself and enslaving yourself when you don't even realize that you're doing it. Okay? So, when you understand the I am presence, I'm going to bring up the 20 universal ways of oneness. If you haven't yet purchased that book, grab the 20 universal ways of oneness on Amazon, dive into the 20 universal ways. Everything in oneness consciousness, the highest level of enlightenment that we can achieve from here forward in the age of Aquarius, okay, are all broken down as the 20 universal ways of oneness. Okay. Um, when you become each and every way of oneness, as you learn to work with those ways, how we learn to work with them, one of many. It's not as simple as, oh, I just say this out loud and I say my affirmations. I am the way of responsibility. I am the way of patience. I am the way of surrender. I am the way of truth, presence, connection, compassion, harmlessness, and gentleness, equality, trust, honoring, selfless service, loyalty, unconditional love, humility, integrity, forgiveness, purity, wisdom, harmony. I am the way of. Now, there is a reason why we are taught when working with these frequencies to declare, to command, to become, I am the way of, because that is my I am presence. Those are vibrational frequencies that make up my I am presence. Do you understand? The highest level of enlightenment means I am the way of responsibility, and every single way, all 20 of them, until I become the way of harmony, which is all other 19 ways of oneness, 100% fully integrated into the human being that I am, which means I am now an enlightened human being. Okay. That is what a mystical initiate is. That's what the becoming of one, a beingness of oneness consciousness is. And that's why you work with these different vibrational frequencies, which are the 20 different vibrational frequencies of the ways of oneness. You are becoming a fully enlightened being walking this planet, helping to transform, heal, elevate the entirety of this planet when you become these ways of oneness. Okay. And you understand that how they are given to us is through using your voice to speak the way of truth, to speak your divinity, your power, the truth of what you are, which is I am. That's why I am precedes activating these frequencies and integrating and fully immersing ourselves in these frequencies and learning what it means, what actions we have to take, the healing we have to move through in order to also then become each and every vibrational frequency of the 20 universal ways of oneness. Okay. If anything was confusing so far, pause, go back, listen again. I mean that. I really want you to get this because I want you to evolve and heal and elevate and become the most powerful version of you. If anything was confusing right now, pause it, go back and listen again before you continue. Okay. Now, the I am presence, as you become these various vibrational frequencies that fully form into eventually the way of harmony, I am the way of harmony. Here's the trap in our everyday lives. If you are in a coaching session, if you are in a healing session, if you're in a counseling session, if you're in a therapy session, if you're hanging out and talking to friends or a loved one, and they ask you like, "How are you feeling?" Maybe you shared something. Oh, I'm struggling with this. Oh, I have this challenge. Oh, you know, I am struggling with this challenge. I'm frustrated. You see where this is going? I am angry. I'm I am I am just hopeless and depressed. I am just depressed. You see where this is going? What am I preceding these descriptions, these negative vibrational frequencies, these quote unquote truths? They're not divine truths, but they're my truth. Here's the fucking trap. My truth is I'm frustrated. I am this, I am that. You are, as a divinely powerful co-creator being that you still don't have the slightest clue of how powerful you actually are. That's not a judgment. That's to help educate you and wake you up so you can become more aware of what you actually are at a deeper, deeper, deeper level. I am angry. I'm sad. You are declaring the most powerful statement that you as a human can declare by preceding what you are with I am first. And guess what? This is all done by design. We have been so fucking conditioned to speak like this. And that is even more so in the United States of America. Haha, calculated by design, orchestrated. The deep conditioning to say, I am, and then finish that sentence with some shitty, horrible, fucked up thing. That is what we are declaring constantly what we are. And you wonder why this is one piece of the puzzle, or maybe like a dozen pieces of the puzzle, of why our manifestations and the transformations and the things in our lives that we're trying to create and be better and experience more elevated frequencies and timelines and, yada, yada, yada. It's one of the ways that we fall into a trap. We create a trap for ourselves, and we are just stuck in that hamster wheel of not seeing different manifestations and different, more elevated experiences in our lives, and our manifested reality, in our created realities, in our third dimensional world. We're not seeing some of these things because we keep falling into the trap. And that trap is how we speak and construct sentences in the English language, especially American English. Wonder why that is. Connect those dots, will ya? How we even construct our sentences and form our sentences, the way that we speak. In other languages, they form sentences differently. And not good, bad, it just is what it is. But in our English language, and again, especially American English, we have been brainwashed and deeply conditioned to use the I am to vibrationally sabotage all of the things that we want to create and manifest from the way of purity, from the way of selfless service, from the way of integrity, from those enlightened vibrational frequencies. Why are things not coming in fast? Why is this? Why is that? This is not the one and only reason. There are many, many reasons to these things. I am singling out this one and focusing on this one because I can bet right now the majority of you listening to this don't have the slightest awareness of how often you actually speak the language that traps you and forces you to sabotage what you are attempting to create. So let's dive deeper. In the Mystical Life Coach certification program at Masters of Self University, in our organization, we have a coaching certification program in this work. Many of you know this who already listen to this. Now, listen to me very carefully with what I'm going to share. As a part of this program, what the students learn, they learn how to change their language. And it is one of the most challenging things because the conditioning and the habits are so ingrained in us. Okay. And I still catch myself in certain things. I'll get it out in a minute. I'll give examples in a minute. In our Mystical Life Coach certification program, we learn how to address no more counseling talk, no more traditional therapy talk and all this bullshit. Why? Energetically, you are entrapping yourself, you are enslaving yourself, you're falling into the trap of the third dimensional dysfunctional matrix conditioning, enslavement conditioning, and you're doing it to yourself over and over and again. See, once you're conditioned, the elites, the powers that be, don't have to do much more. You're just going to keep ruining your own life and keeping yourself in suffering. That's what brainwashing does. Do you understand? Okay. So if you're already deeply conditioned to just speak in a certain way, which means as a powerful creator being, you're going to continue to create the bullshit that you don't want, no matter how many manifestation techniques. And it doesn't mean you're not, really good at manifesting certain things, but you can't for the life of you understand why you can't manifest other things. And two main things is you're unhealed and your wounds and your programs. And that's everything we address in our coaching program and teach you how to alchemize. Okay. And all of that. But the second biggest thing that gets in your way and sabotages and ruins everything you're trying to become and create and elevate out of is what I'm sharing with you today. You're using the I am presence fucking backwards, against yourself versus for yourself. You're using this powerful phrase to literally to block everything because you're that powerful. Okay, so back to the Mystical Life Coach Certification Program. I want you to understand this example. So in this program, how the students learn to, number one, do the real work on themselves and heal themselves. And then the second part, to guide someone else through this work. The language and how they use language is critically important. And this is part of what you learn through the entire certification program. You don't say things like, how are you feeling? Because the immediate answer is, I am feeling. And that's fucking terrible. That's not what we want. That my dog just confirmed that in the background. I'm feeling, I feel this way. Okay, and I'm not going to edit that out. It's beautiful. And just in case you're wondering what the scream from my dog actually was, I have all 3 of my dogs in my office with me right now while I record this. My 120-pound dog just tried to reposition himself, and he sat on my 40-pound dog. So my 40-pound dog, that hurt, and he screamed. It was a good way to use his voice to let him know, move over, big guy. So anyway, in the Mystical Life Coach Certification Program, we learn really clearly how to use language. Okay. The mental programs that I'm running, I'm running these programs. That's an action. It isn't the same as declaring I am, right? The emotional programs that are running, or even if we say that I am running, right? The I am present. Yeah, I'm just running these human emotional programs right now. That isn't what I am. There is a difference. So, how we address our own wounding and how we verbalize that is really critical in actually healing and detaching from them and no longer having them create a reality that we don't want to create. Do you understand why you can't learn this stuff in a matter of 5 minutes or like a session? It is a process to decondition and dismantle all of the fucking hundreds of layers of conditioning that we all have, people. You have to understand what a real, actual spiritual education is. And it isn't something that you're going to learn and master in a matter of a few weeks or even in 6 months. Obviously, it is something that is ongoing. So, what you learn in our coaching programs, and especially in our to become a certified mystical life coach, you learn that language, you no longer refer to things as, I'm feeling blah, blah, blah. If you pay attention, do a little experiment with yourself. Pay attention. If you say, I am, and then say a bunch of negative words, you will feel your energy lower, lower, lower. The vibrational frequencies go down, 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 down. Because you're declaring as a powerful creator, divine being, what you are. You are then creating your reality in that way, in that moment. And if you don't alchemize that and you don't transform out of that, that is then this is your creation point. Do you understand? This is your creation point. Whatever vibrational frequencies are flowing through you right now, that is your creation point for your reality. However long it takes that negative shit that you're putting out in the world to come into your life could be, think about this, could be minutes, days, months, whatever. But if you already had old negative programming in there and your creation point right now today is really negative, you may see the manifestations of that in your reality within minutes, within hours. The rest of your day might go to shit. Does this make sense? Because you already have your unhealed old programming in there, and then your creation point that you decided for the day or for this hour was really low and negative. And we are declaring that constantly by our thoughts, by our language that we use. Language that includes your thoughts. What are your mental programs? That's why it's so critical. We teach this in our coaching programs, and to become a certified coach. What are my mental programs? You don't gloss over what your mind is telling you about a certain something, about this situation, about the person in front of you who triggered you, about the situation that fucking triggered you. You don't gloss over the mental programs. It tells you everything you need to know about your conditioning and your programming, which is why you stop, you learn what it means to observe your mental programs. You start with writing them down word for word, no summarizing. The words are so critical. You don't write down the words for yourself when you learn this work. You're trying to heal and elevate and transform all of this, elevate out of this and transform all of it. Or as a coach, I teach our coaches during certain parts of their sessions with clients, they are writing down word for word what the client says. What is your mental program? They write it down word for word. They don't summarize anything. That is divinely purposeful, because you get to see what type of conditioning that person has that is sabotaging and creating a shitty reality versus the reality they would love to experience. And it comes back to this: how many times we have been conditioned to say, I am miserable, I am depressed, I am all of these things, and go make your own examples up. The more I say it, the lower my vibration gets. Versus when you play with it on your own, do that little experiment that I mentioned. Say all the negative things after the I am and just see how you feel. Just really go into the energy of your body. How do you feel? What's your emotional energy doing? Like your emotional body doing? Sit in that for a minute and you'll realize that I just brought myself way down. Now that's my creation point for the day. That sucks. Don't do that anymore. Now, with your little experiment, play with this. I am, now raise the vibrational frequency. I am joy. I am divine. I am powerful. I am happiness itself. I am abundant. I am abundant. I am compassionate, right? And you will see your vibration just rise. Now, the only exception to that is if you say any of those things or other things you come up with, you're like, ugh, I felt, ugh, that didn't feel good. That means you have a wound that prevents that from being the truth. Right there, you just energetically discovered a wound that is preventing you from being that truth. Like, I am joy. And if it feels like, ugh, resistant, no, I'm not, that didn't feel good. There's a wound blocking you from being that being your truth. How do you heal that? Go to mastersofselfuniversity.com. This is precisely what we teach. We teach you then what's the wound? Because we need now to get rid of the wound. Do you understand? Okay. Now, stay with me. Throughout the day, I want you, my invitation to you, in order to heal faster, transform faster, jump timelines, manifest what you want to manifest, create the reality that you want to create. Because this is one of the biggest traps that we fall into versus experience the freedom of just creating whatever the hell we want to create from our divinity, not from ego, not from selfishness, not from greed. That's all ego and bullshit. From enlightened frequencies as the ways of oneness. Okay. You can be free and create what you want to experience and have all these beautiful things that you've been working so hard. But one of the biggest traps is this I am. We're declaring over and over again our scarcity, even though there's no such thing as scarcity. It doesn't even exist. You have a reality where you are experiencing an abundance of scarcity. Let that sink in. You might be experiencing an abundance of scarcity. There's no such thing as scarcity itself. It just means you created a fake reality that you will temporarily experience as a human, and you're going to experience scarcity. And you're going to have an abundance of it because the universe is nothing but abundance. There's no such thing as actual scarcity anywhere. Let that sink in. And you might be experiencing that in a reality. You just created it. Look at the abundance of what you get to create. Now, we live in a time where what's been brainwashed, conditioned in order to force us to create everything that will create a tremendous amount of suffering. We live in that matrix, that system, the system of enslavement, et cetera, et cetera. That needs to be dismantled in order for that to no longer our everyday life and what we want to create will not be that hard to create once we can dismantle the energetic system that we are still functioning in, even though we don't realize or don't think we are. You got to get out of this pseudo fake egoic spirituality bullshit of, oh, I'm already fifth dimensional just because I say so. I'm enlightened because I say so. Guys, fucking the way of humility is one of the ways of oneness. Get over all that shit. Like, it's just the spiritual ego. Get out of it. The way of humility is number 15 out of 20 of the highest levels of enlightened frequencies we can become. 15 out of 20. It is such a powerful vibrational frequency. And man, do we lack it. Holy Christ, do we lack it. The entire human population, especially those entitled fucks in a couple different parts of the world, America being one of them. Boy, do we lack humility. It's such a powerful vibrational frequency. It's not about just pretending to be something and saying I am something when it isn't fucking true yet. It is okay to be a student. Everybody's a student. Just see where you actually are. It's about, oh my gosh, how many times during the day, how many times in an hour with the thoughts that I think, because this is language, the thoughts that I think and the words that I speak, how many times during this hour or this day? Keep a tally for a day. Keep a tally for 3 days or a week straight. I'm so dead serious about that. I would love for you to keep a tally. Awaken to how many times you're actually declaring and therefore creating from a creation point of fuck all, a negative quote unquote I am. I am so frustrated. I am so angry. I am so upset. I'm so whatever. And it's all like misery and suffering. Okay. Instead of, I'm going to go back to what we teach in our mystical life coach certification to our coaches and what our coaches teach you in the coaching programs is we don't use that language, and we don't use that language for a reason because you're just trapping yourself in the old fucked up reality that you don't want to experience anymore again and again and again and again. Okay. Instead, what are the emotional programs that I just happen to be running? What are the emotional programs? See how we energetically detach? That is energetic detachment from the emotion, from the program itself. I am not any conditioning or programming that I have developed that has been forced upon me or brainwashed or imprinted on me or whatever it is, or the unhealed stuff that I still have in there that I'm still running or experiencing. I am not actually any of those things. Do you understand that? This is what we teach in our programs. Because I am not, that's not the truth of what I am. What I am is the way of responsibility and patience and surrender and all of the ways of oneness. I am the way of harmony. I am the way of integrity and selfless service. I am the way of loyalty to my own divinity and elevating and becoming more enlightened every day of my life. I am the ways of oneness that allow me to focus on where I need to elevate, where I need to heal. Any being becoming a being of oneness consciousness, which is an initiate of oneness consciousness. This is what we focus on because this is freedom. This is what sets us free. A system of enslavement and suffering, those oppressors will never set you free. They're oppressing you for a reason. They benefit from your oppression. They benefit from your suffering. They benefit from you being their slaves. They benefit from this level of inequality, superiority, making you inferior to them. They benefit. They'll never set you free. You have to learn how to set yourself free. And as you do that, unite together in oneness with other warriors who are doing the same. You see why transforming your entire life and anything and everything about your entire life so that you can thrive and actually experience energetic freedom and what that really means, do you see why it is a path of a mystical warrior? Not some passive, I'm just going to write in my fucking manifestation journal 369 times and manifest anything I fucking want to. To understand energetics will understand if you do a certain technique or a certain method, you can gain certain things from it. It will work in certain scenarios for you sometimes. But why does it work? When you cannot energetically break down why it works, then you can't make that repeat for every single thing that you want in your life. Okay. What we teach you at Masters of Self University in our coaching programs is why energetically the very wounds and programs you run and how you're consistently trapping yourself by declaring I am fill in the blank when you don't even realize it. If you are experiencing the emotions, the energies of depression, that is an experience. That is not I am depressed. No, you're fucking not. That is not what you are. I am a divinely powerful being having a temporary human experience. I am the cosmic energy. I am the cosmos of the cosmos. Do you understand? Having a temporary human experience. Human isn't even what I am. Temporarily, it is. What I am is the eternal you, the part of you that never, ever, ever dies. It only expands. That's I am. To integrate that and come from that powerful truth, what you are actually. I am the cosmos. I am a cosmic being, temporarily in human form, having a human experience. Do you understand? That is your I am. We have been conditioned to say, I am, Rachel, I am this, I am that. Be careful. Just by saying that, I am lowering my vibrational frequency. A temporary version of you is always going to be a way lower vibrational frequency than the eternal truth of what you are, than the eternal you, than the cosmic you. Do you understand? My name is Rachel because here in this lifetime, this time around, I showed up here. I, the eternal me, the cosmos that is me, the universal me, the extension of source that I am me, showed up to temporarily experience and show up as a woman with white skin and with the name Rachel. Do you see it? What I am is far beyond the human me. And I can honor as the way of honoring. This is what I teach in becoming oneness consciousness. This is what we help you to become in our coaching programs is integrating that I am presence into the human aspect of you so that they are one, they are integrated, they are no longer separate. In order to comprehend that, we have to understand them for a little while anyway as separate things. Okay. So, my name in this lifetime is Rachel Fiori. I am an eternal cosmic being that have powers beyond any human can comprehend because that's what I truthfully actually am when I am not incarnated in human form. Do you understand? And that's what each and every one of you are. So when you're moving through your pain, your suffering, your wounds, your triggers, your programs, the mental programs that are showing up now are The mental programs that I am experiencing right now as the cosmic self incarnated as this human temporarily. The emotional programs that are running. What are the emotional programs that are running? Well, okay, those are blah, 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 grief, anxiety. Cool. I am anxious. No, stop it. No, you're not. That's false. And yet, when you say that out loud, that is what you are manifesting and creating in your reality. Don't ever say, I am anxious, I am depressed, ever again. Catch yourself. And that's my invitation. I would love for you to do this for a day. I'm so serious about this. I would love to hear you do this for a day, 3 days, a week, and then come back in the comments. I would love, please. This would be so fun for me. And it would help with so much awareness with so many people that listen to this and they can see then in the comments how many times in a day you actually declared you were something shitty, a false self you that was not true, that you declared during the day. Like when you say, I am anxious, I am depressed, I'm angry today, I'm in a bad mood, that's a little different with that language, but you get the idea. I would love for you, do it for a day. And I say a day or 3 days, I'd love for you to do it for a week, honestly. But I think people would get overwhelmed if you realize how many times a day you declared you were something that is a false you, which means that's your creation point. You are creating the rest of your reality based on your vibrational frequencies. And when you are declaring over and over and over again a false you, the negative vibrational frequencies you're creating a false reality, which means you're creating a reality that isn't divine. And you wonder why we have all the struggles and the suffering. Oh, did you let that one? Did that hit you? I hope you had an epiphany with that one. The experience that I am simply experiencing right now is that's where you can fill in the blank. The way of truth, let's be truthful about that experience. It's one of fear and anxiety and frustration and anger. Beautiful. Now we know what needs to be loved, embraced, energetically alchemized with the divinity that we are, with the divinity that I am. Do you understand? Do you see it? That's why we don't hide anything and suppress anything. We don't pretend like the emotions that we experience aren't our reality. They're really there, and they're often scary and uncomfortable and all the things. But I am powerful enough to bring the divine light that I am, the unconditional love that I am, because I am the way of unconditional love, to the fear and the anxiety and the depression and the anxiousness and the whatever that is moving through me right now, that got triggered and activated within my vessel right now. Do you see how I'm using that language? I don't identify with any of that bullshit that isn't the truth of what I am. What I temporarily experience here in human form as I move through this life isn't what I am. None of it is what I am. They are experiences that I am having. That's the difference. There's your freedom, energetic freedom to move through the rest of your life if you can achieve this. Keep track for 1, 2, or 3 days, please, and come back and write them in the comments under this episode. How many times did you wake up and realize that you declared from the power that you are that I am and something shitty, something the false self? I am so blah, blah, blah. No, you're not. That isn't what you are. Stop lying and creating a shitty reality of suffering for yourself. That isn't what you fucking are. You are a cosmic, eternal being, for crying out loud. That's what you are. I am poor. I am struggling. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. I am abundant. I am powerful. I am magical. I am mystical. I am a miracle worker. I am the miracle. I am the miracle that is currently in this moment having a temporary experience of, a temporary manifested reality of struggle, being poor, blah, blah, blah. Do you see it? There is a massive fucking difference between the two energetically and what you're creating to continue to experience. The power that I am to move through a challenge in human form that is struggle, that is suffering, the power that I am to be able to move through this is vastly different than I am struggling and drowning and vastly. You are on completely different timelines when you can shift over to the actual truth of what you are. So keep tally of it for a while. Keep tally of it for a while. I'm so serious about it because the more you become aware that that's what you're declaring throughout your days every day, stop answering. How you doing today? How you feeling? Hey, what's going on? I am blah, blah, blah. Stop answering like that. And this is where I mentioned earlier the how orchestrated it is. We are so conditioned to answer that way because we then trap ourselves. We sabotage ourselves and we have no fucking awareness that we're doing it energetically, killing our manifestations, killing the beautiful enlightened reality that we get to experience and create and become on this planet, killing it. You'll sit in 2 hours of meditation. Oh, I did breath work. I did meditation. I did this. I did that, blah, blah, blah. And turn right. This is why I keep teaching. It isn't about the fucking modalities, guys. It's about you. I don't care what beautiful, wonderful, amazing modality you had a lovely experience for the last 45 minutes or an hour or two. It doesn't make them wrong. See it for what it is. If I do not change my level of awareness of what I'm doing, and I don't learn energetics to this degree, and I don't receive the spiritual teachings, the spiritual education to this degree, all you're doing is superficial, temporary movement of energy. And then you come back to what you have been brainwashed and conditioned to be, which is I am struggling, suffering, anxiety. I am this, I am that. Knock it off. You have to realize this to awaken for real. I don't care how many energetic fucking modalities you are certified in. I don't care what you do. I don't care how many goddamn certificates or certifications, this or that. If you don't understand this stuff, you're not getting very far at all. That's why most of the people who are energy healers and certified in 20 different things are still fucking broke. That is never an insult. If you were offended by that right now, sign up for our fucking coaching program. You need more help than you're ready to fucking admit. That's the truth. I say that with love. I'm never fucking judging you guys. I am here to help you wake up for real. You're welcome. That's what this is for. I don't want you to be enslaved. I don't want you to suffer anymore. I want you to get it. I want you to get it and wake up for real because you can live the rest of your life completely free, energetically free. And then, yes, all of the things you've worked so hard to create and manifest, yes, they will actually reach you in your physical reality. They're able to actually get to you in your physical reality. This is one of the biggest traps that ruins your manifestations that I see. And I've seen it for a long time. This is one of the biggest. So focus on this for a while. Do this at least for a week in order to start to see how much you actually sabotage everything you work so hard to create, to change, to transform in your life. Stop saying I am and answering that and declaring that to the universe with negative, shitty, scarcity, unhealed crap. That isn't what you are. I am the universal ways of oneness. I am every way of oneness, which means I am the truth, the presence, the compassion. I am the power to move through this challenge that is a temporary experience that the eternal cosmic me is experiencing right now in human form. That is a challenge. That is the depression. That's the anxiety. That's the grief. I am that powerful that I can experience something so uncomfortable and I can heal and elevate. I can transform out of it. I can create a whole different reality because I got to experience this particular experience, this contrast. I get to create something completely brand new, and I am powerful enough because I am what I am. This is what it means to rise. This is what the elites and the powers that be don't want you to click in on. They don't want this to click for you. They don't want you to realize this on a deeper level and actually become what I am offering you today to become. And of course, we have the coaching programs and all the things to support you if you want the step-by-step guidance and support from people who have learned this, who are certified in this, who are continuing to elevate in their level of mastery in everything that I am offering you today. If you want that guidance, you have it. It's right here. Go to mastersofselfuniversity.com. Get a free consultation to find out more. We can help you with it. And if you don't need it or want it, beautiful. I applaud you, but keep doing the work on your own. Do this for yourself. We are here to change the world, not pseudo spirituality, fucking surface level bullshit, which is just more egoic traps where you think you're waking up, but all you're doing is fucking around with journals and manifestation shit and meditating with. If that's all you're doing, you don't get what I'm teaching you. And if that's all you're doing and you got triggered and offended thinking I'm judging it or putting it down, you're still at a very, and I mean very low level of consciousness. That is not an awakened being who cannot comprehend this. I'm never saying it in judgment. I'm saying it because it's the goddamn truth. And you need to understand that in order to wake up and get out of the very programs that are holding you back, that are preventing you from elevating higher. Okay. I am. See where you're sabotaging yourself with it. You cannot misunderstand or not understand what I have offered here today and simply buy the 20 universal ways of oneness, start to read about the ways of oneness, start to learn with the digital course, for example, introduction to the universal ways of oneness. You can't start to learn that stuff and master I am the way of presence, for example. I am the way of presence. I am the way of presence. Before we become that frequency and just that's our vibrational frequency, that's my set point, that's my creation point. Every way of oneness, that's my creation point. Before you can become that, you start to work with the vibrational frequencies themselves. You call them in by declaring, this is what I am. You activate them, you anchor them inside of you energetically. You start to feel what it feels like to actually vibrate at the frequency of the way of connection, for example, as the way of compassion, because I am the way of compassion. It is a learning process. What does it feel like? What is the energetic resonance of compassion? The enlightened definition of that word. I am the way of compassion. What does that feel like? You learn as an initiate of oneness consciousness, you learn to feel that energy. This is what it feels like. Good. So you learn that I now know what it feels like, and I'm going to work with that, and I'm going to play with that frequency, and I'm going to get really good at activating the way of compassion. All 20 ways of oneness, but I'm just giving you an example to make it simple. I am the way of compassion. I activate it. This is what it feels like. Oh my God, it feels so amazing. I love this. This is beautiful. So now, as I become that frequency, it's easier for me to realize, oh, I just got triggered. I'm not the way of compassion right now, am I? What am I showing up as instead? What's moving through me right now that I need to become the way of compassion for in order for the vibrational frequency of the way of compassion to alchemize the energy that just showed up? Maybe it's annoyance. Well, I become the way of compassion for that. It's an energetic process to become that frequency over and over again until you are fully healed. You're no longer triggered by a bunch of shit. And until you no longer identify with the stuff, the emotions, the mental programs that you're triggered by, with the wounds that you have, you no longer identify with them. This is an energetic attachment to them, an energetic labeling or identification with them. Energetically, we identify with those things, which means if we identify them, we don't even realize we're labeling them, I am that. And that means I become that on an energetic level. And then I experience the reality that reflects that on an energetic level. Because I'm constantly declaring that I am that, which I don't want to be or experience. And that's not the truth of what I am. But I, as an eternal, divine, cosmic being who is a powerful creator in this reality, whether you realize it or not, I am creating that which I am declaring that I am over and over and over again. I'm scared. I am worried. I am afraid. Stop it. No, you're fucking not. You're not any of those things. It doesn't even make sense. What I am is a powerful, cosmic, divine, eternal being who in human form is temporarily experiencing the energies of fear, powerlessness, worry, etc. See the difference? Drastically different, those two examples. This is how you become a powerful divine being on an energetic level. Okay. Keep track of how you're trapping yourself, falling into the trap of your conditioning by using your thoughts, which is language, by using your words, which is language, to constantly declare that which you are not. Keep track of it. Please do it. Please do it and come back in the comments. I'm so fascinated. And I say that because it's exciting to see how many times we actually do that in a matter of 3 days or a week. Holy crap. Off the charts if you have the awareness to keep actual track of it accurately and efficiently. Holy crap. I want to see how many times in the week. I want to hear this in the comments after you do this. If you do it for like 3 days straight or you do this for like a week, please come back in the comments and say, I kept tally for, and tell us how long, 3 days. And I sabotaged the false I am 50 times, 477 times, whatever. It'll be an ungodly number for some of you if you keep track accurately and you catch it every time. The number will be higher than you ever could imagine. If you pay attention to your mental programs and what you're actually thinking in any given moment, you have to capture it and be accurate with it. I'm telling you, the numbers will be really high. Okay. And that's exciting. And it's exciting because once you see it, you can transform it. That's the exciting part about it. It's exhilarating. Be like, oh my God, I get to keep track of how many times in a week or 3 days or whatever that I am completely declaring some bullshit reality that I don't want to be experiencing. And there's a lot of where my frustration and my blah is coming from. Yeah. That's exciting because then you get to change it. Energetic detachment comes in when you see you just did that. Write it down, tally it, put a little check, keep track so that you can come back and share it with us. And if you're a part of our Discord channel and our Discord community, oh my God, please, you have to do it there. Go into our Discord channel. If you haven't joined Discord yet, it's a free community. Go in there, do this for at least 3 days, and then list it in our Discord channel. Love to chat about it in there. It'd be a really fun discussion. Because in that moment, when you realize how many times you're doing it, you take a breath, you're like, "Oh, holy shit, there, I just did it again. I haven't even brushed my teeth this morning and I did it 9 times." That's the awareness we want. Because then all of a sudden, you can stop, you can breathe, you can drop into your heart, you can connect to your divinity, to your soul, to the higher you. You can connect energetically. And then you can transform. Oh, I'm not tired. I am blah, blah, blah. The energy of sluggishness is something that I am experiencing right now. It's just an energy of sluggishness. Oh, look at that. The energy of annoyance is moving through me right now. That's all. I can breathe and I can alchemize that. I can ask my body what it is that it needs. I can ask my body, right? That's where you can make energetic change or change at the energetic level. All this other superficial modality stuff or techniques that you can do in that moment, you don't want temporary change, guys. You want to take your power back at the very, very, very elevated levels. This is how you take your power back instead of giving it away all the time. You have to understand, in the way of humility, how deeply conditioned and brainwashed you actually are. In the way of humility, look at the world around you and understand, those of you who are waking up, it doesn't mean you're not still brainwashed to massive degrees. You have been conditioned so strategically, so masterfully, that even as you awaken more and more and more, it doesn't mean you're not still conditioned and brainwashed in a shit ton of ways. That is the way of humility. There's anything to be ashamed of. It's just, holy shit, you're right. And I don't want that to be the truth anymore, which is why I'm willing to do this level of work. That's what this level of work actually is at Masters of Self University. Everything I teach, everything we offer, that's this level of education, because this is freedom. And I don't want you, any of you out there, to be enslaved anymore. If you want to be enslaved, that's okay. I'm never going to judge you for what you choose to do. It's your reality, your experience. You do whatever the hell you want to do in this lifetime. That's up to you. I'm never going to judge you for it. I am here as a mystical teacher, as a mystic. I am here as a spiritual teacher to help you actually understand at an energetic level all the layers to this stuff in order to choose freedom for yourself and how to break out of it, how to transform energetically out of the trap that exists in the world from the powers that be and the elites that run this world, who are dysfunctional, fucked up, and crazy and greedy, enslaving you, versus you being so brainwashed and conditioned that you then continue to run those same patterns over and over. You continue to trap yourselves and enslave yourselves in the same patterns of the matrix that you think you're breaking free from, because that's what brainwashing is. It's so that they don't have to keep it's like, once you're totally conditioned, they know that you'll suffer and be in agony for years and years and decades of your life, trying to struggle to get out of it, and you will have no awareness of why you're still trapped and struggling. And once again, the I am presence, understanding it at the level, at least what I've offered here in this episode, understanding this can help set you so free from so many of the traps that you didn't even realize you were creating for yourself because of our conditioning. So I really hope this helps some of you. I really hope you now see the light a little bit more, and you start to move towards the light and become the light more, so to speak, and set yourselves free, because this is what it takes to set yourself free. And the work that you have to put in is doing things like what I said. Start to keep tally. Every damn thought that goes through your head during the day, keep a tally. Check it. Check, check. Put another slash. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slash. There's 5. Keep track of it for several days, for a week. Because the more you become aware in that moment, right there, I became aware. Oh my God, I just declared that I'm this shit thing and I feel like shit. And that's my creation point now, energetically. So, what am I creating for myself right now? More of what I don't want. That's how it works energetically. So, the more you become aware, there's the hard work you put in to transform. You can't do a fucking Reiki session on this, guys, and it's gone. That's not how this works. You cannot do a sound healing session, and this is just no longer your programming is your programming. Okay. And by the way, I've said this so many times. Sound healing is probably if I was only allowed to ever experience one type of modality ever again for the rest of my life, it would be sound healing. It is my favorite by far. It's super powerful, it's beautiful, it's magical. But if you have to understand what I'm offering to you, how I'm educating you. If you do not understand energetic programming and how you have been programmed, and it is not good enough, change your mindset, write in your journal, just write out affirmations every day. That is not what I am teaching you. It doesn't go deeply enough to what your set creation point is that you are setting for yourself and creating for yourself every day. And it isn't faking and just being positive, love, and light only. That's another fucking bullshit. It's not about that. Because when you have energies trapped inside of you that are wounded, that are unhealed, the traumas that are unhealed, the programming that you don't even realize you're consistently, you go get all the sound healing sessions and the Reiki and the whatevers you want to, do whatever plant medicine you want to. But when you have zero awareness that you turn right around minutes, hours, days later, and you are recreating by the I am declaration of negative bullshit of what you don't want. And then you're like, well, why did that only last for a few days? Because it can't force you. The sound healing, the energy healing, the yoga, the whatever you're doing, the breath work cannot change your programming, and you're not even aware of your programming. That's why. See that for what it is and stop holding on to these modalities. Well, no, it's breath work. Breath work is fine for me. Stop it. You are not changing your programming by doing the fucking breath work. Do you understand it? That's what I want you to get, because you cannot set yourself free if you don't get this. So I'm going to keep preaching and I'm going to keep teaching until you actually get it, so that you then connect to the power that is internally inside of you that can set you free. All that I am offering you is the way of wisdom. And if you cannot and you refuse to embrace the way of wisdom, then you're going to be trapped in all your modalities and all your breath work and all your whatevers. And then 5 years from now, wonder why you're not where you want to be. And if your emotional intelligence is still so fucking low that you think you're being judged and you are offended or triggered, then leave and go somewhere else. Why are you listening? Why do you bother? You're not ready for this yet, and that's okay. You're not ready for this yet, and that's okay. A preschooler is not ready for a master's degree. A preschooler doesn't have the capabilities of earning a doctorate yet. They have to master preschool and get to kindergarten and first grade and so on. It just means you're not ready yet, and that's okay. There's no judgment there. The way of wisdom, in the way of humility, in the way of truth, see it for what it is. But when you resort to getting triggered and attacking and being nasty and misunderstanding the teaching because you can't yet comprehend it, that's not a reflection of me. That's a reflection of you. I am only here to help you. to heal and elevate you to a level that is so high and enlightened that if you were able to do that so far, you would have already done it. We have to learn how to embrace actual enlightened spiritual education and not this pseudo spirituality, fake surface level bullshit that has infiltrated the collective. That's more of the brainwashing and the conditioning. That's all it is. Learn to work with the energies, become more self aware, allow the true I am presence to come online more and more. And you can't do that if you're not aware. The self-awareness, that's an aspect of the first way of oneness, the way of responsibility. You can't do that if you lack the awareness of where you are sabotaging yourselves and declaring something that isn't even true about you. The truth of what you are is miraculous. But you can't declare the negative things and live a miraculous life because you're a divine creator being. You declare those things without realizing you're declaring the negative things, then those are the realities you're going to experience. You see it? So become aware, catch yourself when you say I am, followed by a negative, a reality that you don't, that's your creation point. That has to be transformed, and you can only transform it by increasing your level of awareness. Catching yourself energetically, transforming that, and doing something about it right then and there in that moment. You have to change the set point of your creation point. You have to energetically change that, move the bar up higher. And I hope you have an understanding today of how to do that on your own. And if you really want the help in the teachings, go to mastersofselfuniversity.com. And if you want a workshop, by the way, on how to do this so that I can break it down in a workshop for you in person, let's do an in-person workshop. Anybody in San Diego? If you want a workshop on this, post it in the comments. Get a free consultation at Masters of Self University. I'm serious about this. Because if enough of you want an actual workshop on this, I'll give you a workshop on this. Our certified coaches and myself, we will put on a workshop for you. You need to request it. There needs to be enough people requesting it, and we'll do one. We'll make it happen. So if you want a workshop so that you can work through and practice while I can give you the guidance step by step while you're doing it, we'll do a workshop for you. Put it in the comments. Go to mastersofselfuniversity.com, get a consultation, ask for a workshop. We get enough of you requesting a workshop, we'll give you a workshop. Okay? That's what we're here for. I'm happy to do that for you. But you have to want it. You have to be able to move through it and get the help, right? So that's what we're here for. Let me know if you want a workshop. In the meantime, if you're going to do this all on your own, good luck. Do it. Stick with it. Don't give up. And post in the comments how you're doing with it. Because I would love to see your progress. I'd love to see how many times you sabotage yourself. Because again, that's exciting. That's actually a positive thing. I've done it this many times in 2 days. It's like 107 times. And that's beautiful. Applaud yourselves, guys. When you realize this about yourselves, the quote unquote negative things that you realize about yourselves is a day to celebrate because it means you get to change it. If it's in your blind spot, it's going to keep fucking up your life. Think about that. Our quote unquote, what we call our negative things about us, our programs, our wounds, our whatevers, the stuff that we've been conditioned to be so ashamed of. Guys, when you wake up to the shit part of you, the shadow self, that is a day for celebration. The more you find out about yourself that is actually a shadow aspect, egoic, shitty, crappy, ugly, yay. Like, let's celebrate that together because it means it can now be changed and transformed and healed and alchemized. Do you understand? If you have zero awareness, if you're completely clueless that this is how you're actually showing up in the world, you have no fucking idea that you've sabotaged yourself a million times over with declaring I am with something negative. And now you're, oh my God, now I get to do this for a week and see how many times I'm sabotaging myself. That is exciting. Celebrate it. It means you can change it because you're aware of it now. That is the first way of oneness, the way of responsibility. Self-awareness is the first way of oneness. It's a part of the first way of oneness, the way of responsibility is self-awareness. You see it? That's exciting. That is to be celebrated. So celebrate yourselves for all of your ugly, unhealed shit. Join our Discord channel, join our community, and go in there. And I want you to see all the shitty things about yourself. And I want you to go into Discord. I'm inviting you, or in the comments below. And just, I am celebrating today the fact that and fill it, well, all the shit, because now that I see it, I have the power to heal it. I have the awareness and the wherewithal to now heal it. That is an exciting day, guys. Stop trying to suppress your ugly shit and be fucking embarrassed about it. We're all human. We've all been brainwashed. We've all been conditioned, and we're all waking up from it. Now is the time to celebrate all the ugly things you see about yourself, all your shadow aspects, because you get to transform all of it with the light and the power and the divinity that you are. I am the light. I am the power. I am the divinity. I am the way of wisdom. I am the way of honoring. I am the way of selfless service to all of this within myself. Do you see it? That is what my invitation to you is to become that, the truth of what you are, and stop living small, trapped, suffering, and struggling. And if you want extra help to do it, that is what Masters of Self University is here for. Get a free consultation, request a workshop. We're here for you because that's oneness. We are here for you. Okay. But let us know how you're doing on your own. In the meantime, would love to hear in the comments. Let us know. I'd love to hear in our Discord community, Masters of Self University. Would love to hear how you're doing there. I applaud you for the work you've already done. Keep going. You're doing great. Keep going. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here as always. And I'll see you in the next episode.